Okay, it's Philip with RTX Honeybees. Still April 9th. I'm sorry, May 9th, 2023. Decided to go ahead and film this because this box is so heavy. I think it might be interesting for you guys to see what comes out of there. These have been in there for about 3 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. If they moved in as soon as I put the swarm trap up, they would have been in there 3 weeks and a few days. But when bees are left in a swarm trap for more than a week or two, they can fill it out and start building comb on the bottom of the deep frames. You don't have that problem with the Texas deep, but with these you just might. So let me get this set up. We'll go through it. I'm going to set these up. They're on deeps. I'm going to set them on a bottom board and in a deep box that I'm able to divide. It's got the groove, got the stripe on the front. I don't expect that they'll be divided immediately. I don't have another nuke to put with them right now, but I want to be able to say if there are 6 frames or even maybe 7 or 8 of bees, I want to be able to put a weaker nuke next to them, move over some resources, bounce them out, maybe get those 2 5-frame nukes to make me a box of honey. I'm pretty desperate for honey right now. Got several boxes of drone comb, and I don't have a whole lot of strong colonies in this bee yard right now for reasons I've talked about earlier. All my honey is probably going to be, most of my honey is probably going to be made in Richland. But the thing is, a lot of people in Capel like to buy my honey because it's local. It's hyper local, I call it, or macro local, micro local, I'm sorry. And the Richland honey is really good flavor, but I just don't have as much of a customer base down there yet. And it's a much lower population. Okay, all right. Let's see, can you guys, yeah, you guys can see that. Put my bottom board here. Deep on top of that. Getting harassed pretty good by the bees from the other colony. I'm not real happy that I'm still here. One more thing. Based on the weight of this, I think there's going to be a considerable amount of comb hanging off the bottom of those deep frames. So I've sort of prepped me a couple of frames here to be able to cut that off and maybe save it. I'll go ahead and tell you that cutting off the bottom of these deep frames from the swarm it's not even 50-50. It's probably 25% or 20% that you get anything, because that swarm comb is so brittle. It's so light and delicate and brittle. It's just hard to handle it at all without it tearing to pieces. But if there's brood in it, we'll see if we can't get a frame or 2 of that. All right, what did I do with my smoker? Tilt you down just a little bit. There you go. I don't like to smoke them until I open it and gauge the strength. Oh yeah, that's quite a colony there. When I pull this up, you guys are likely to see what I'm talking about as far as the comb on the bottom. A lot of honey on top of these. There's a big flow. Okay, so there's comb on the bottom of that, but it's really not a piece that I would try to save. Let me see if I can't get a hold of this better. It does have brood in it. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I'll cut that out and we'll see. Maybe I'll try to save it. But for now, I'm gonna cut it off like this. Yeah, I'm not happy at all with me there. Okay, so I'm gonna take that, go like that. I need to smoke these bees. They are attacking me like crazy. I have to do this fairly quickly because these bees are not in a good mood. You know what's happened? There was comb on the bottom, but it broke off, probably in transport. Queen cup there, is it something in it? Nope. After I get these frames moved over, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Look at that. See, there's some that I might could salvage. A lot of brood there. Ooh, the alarm pheromone is incredible. A lot of times when a colony gets completely disturbed, it seems that they sort of give up and stop attacking, but not always. If you guys have had that experience, let's talk about it in the comments. It seems like they can be really aggressive and then they just kind of give up. Okay, so that's the 4 frames. Now I want to show you guys what I'm talking about in the bottom here. Get some smoke here because we really got them worked up. See that? Let the camera adjust for a minute. But all of the comb that was on the bottom broke off at some point, and I'm probably still using it. And I'll go through it and see, but that's the reason I'm not seeing much on the bottom of the combs, is because it broke off. I sold a colony to the Texas guy, and they had done that and rebuilt the comb on the bottom. I'm gonna move this out of the way because the bees need to be able to find that entrance. You guys probably can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to take the top box off the swarm trap so I can get down to the comb a little easier that's in there. See the bees in here? I'll just take them down in here. So you guys can see it better. I'll set this up here. See that piece of comb? They've already started making drone cells in it. I don't see the queen. May give them that way over on one side of one of those combs. Queen very well could be down here since there's comb in here. This comb completely flipped over. See, it's tearing in my hand. I just know from experience that it's upside down in the box. It really goes like that. Like that. I don't see the queen on there. Probably should have got myself set up a little better. A lot of big chunks of comb down in here. Another one. So like, put that brood on the outside. That would go there. That would go there. Yeah, when you leave these in the swarm trap too long, they become cutouts. A little brood there we might try to salvage. One more good chunk here. That's really attached. And the queen very well could be under it because I'm watching Mr. Ed. He seems to always hide under the very last piece of comb. I need Goodtime Charlie to show you guys what I'm doing. What an advantage people have that. There's a ball of bees there. I'm expecting the queen maybe to walk out of the middle of that. I'm not seeing it. But I will. See what happens? It just tears apart. The bees got crushed there. What a mess. All right, there's just a couple of tiny little pieces here. I don't think that's got anything to do with her. Wouldn't be there. All right, so here's what we got left. Let's see something. Just looking down in there for queen. There's a lot of bees in there. All right, we're just gonna give them a shake and see what happens. See, most of them came out. All right, let's hope she's in there. Like I did on the others, I'm gonna set this in front with it touching. All right, let's see what we can salvage here. This piece with all the drone cells, I'm going to put to this side. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I'll turn the camera just a little bit. So maybe you can see what I'm doing here. I need to go get a couple more rubber bands. Okay, the top of the frame is here, so we need to find what would be the top of the comb. Should be, I'm going to say something like that. All right, we're going to try that like that. Now, I have a colony behind you that I tried to do a split in, put a new queen in there, and all the bees just left, except for like a half a frame of bees. They're still alive. I'm feeding them. I don't know if they'll make it. The queen is there. They let her out. They didn't kill her. But they got a full box of drone combs, so I'm gonna give them the balance here. So I'm gonna give them four combs out of that and just put foundation back in there. Probably just reduce them down to a 5-frame nuke anyway. If I flipped you guys around, if you could see what I was doing. Right, I guess. Right here. I'm not even terribly worried about smoking these bees because they are terribly weak. I've got a little sugar water on them right there. Try to revive them. They're under it drinking the sugar water, that's for sure. But I mean, literally, they're a little cluster of bees, just like right there, just a tiny little cluster. So, but there are some. I'm gonna take frames out of here to get to those. See, when they absconded, they just left all this brood and it's dead. But that colony that I just transferred those bees into, they'll clean that out in no time. They'll drag all that dead larva out. There's only a couple of poor little workers doing that job. Man, I think I would just give up faced with all that. It was very disappointing because this colony was full of brood. I was fully expecting that I'd make the split and the queen would just keep laying. The new queen would keep laying and they would take off and I'd get honey off of these things. Probably gonna have to leave the rest of these. They're actually, see how many bees? See if I can find the queen for you guys. I'll leave that since they're at least working that frame. But like I said, I'm gonna say it's 1/2 of one frame once you know, both sides. There she is right there. She's a pretty little queen. Walking around. She's got her own little family, but man, I think they're going to starve to death if I don't feed them constantly. All right, we'll leave her with that. They're cleaning this up, so we'll leave them. Okay, I'm just going to be able to take 2 frames. I got to come back and reduce these down to a nuke anyway. So we'll go 2 frames there and 2 frames there. Let me get the food back on these. Go over here now. Boy, that empty frame right there. Might stick it in the middle. That is a beautiful frame for her to start laying up. Go. Give them this one to clean up. Strong colony like this, it won't take them but a day to clean that out. All right, and my 2 frames here. That's pretty awful. I'm gonna just tear that out. Let them get a clean start. Let's see if I brought the inner cover over. Maybe I didn't. Let me run and get it. Yeah, I'm wishing I hadn't used this divided box now because I don't think I'm going to divide these. There's just too many bees. Now I've wasted one of my boxes. Oh, that on the wrong side. Let's go this way with this. For now, not gonna be any. All right, that's that. That was a little more hair on the, what do you call that? Hair on the pig or something? Anyway, it was a little hairier than I expected it to be, but take what you can get. Hope you guys found that somewhat entertaining. I appreciate you for coming along. Philip with RTX Honeybees. Thanks for watching.